You are awake before the sun. The bakery ovens are already warm and the smell of fresh bread fills the narrow street. It is an ordinary morning in Pompeii, the kind no one bothers to remember. Carts rattle over the stones. A merchant argues about the price of fish. Somewhere a child is crying, then laughing. This is a living city, loud and ordinary and certain of itself. By tomorrow, it will be gone, and you are one of the last people who will ever see it alive. Your name does not matter to history. You are a baker. You bake, you sell the way your father did and his father before him. Around you live 20,000 souls. Sailors fresh off the ships, wealthy men in painted villas, slaves who will never own their own breath, children chasing dogs through the forum, rich and poor, free and bound, and not one of them, not a single one, knows what the mountain is about to do. The mountain has always been there. Vineyards climb its gentle slopes. The wine of Vesuvius is the pride of the whole region, sold in jars from here to Rome itself. No one alive remembers it ever burning. To the people of Pompeii, it is not a volcano. It is just a hill. A good, green, generous hill. The word volcano does not even exist yet. And that more than anything is why so many will die. You cannot fear a thing you have no name for. For days now, small things have been wrong. The ground shivers, but the ground always shivers here and it always settles. The wells turn strange. The water tastes faintly of sulfur. Dogs will not stop barking at nothing. A neighbor swears the springs up on the hillside ran dry overnight. You wipe the flour from your hands and step into the street. And you notice something that makes the hair rise on your arms. The birds have gone silent. Every one of them. The sky is holding its breath. Then around 1 in the afternoon the mountain speaks. A sound like the sky being torn in half. You spin toward it and the top of Vesuvius is simply gone. In its place a pillar of black is climbing into the heavens faster than your eye can follow. It does not slow. It does not stop. It just keeps rising up and up until it is taller than any mountain, any tower, anything you have words for. The whole city has frozen in the street to watch it. Far across the bay, a young Roman watches the same cloud and reaches for his pen. He will write that it looked like a great pine tree, a long trunk of smoke, branching wide at the very top. His name is Pliny the Younger, and his letters are the reason your story can be told at all. But you have no pen and no distance. You are beneath it. And from beneath, it does not look like a tree. It looks like the lid of the world sliding shut. The first stones fall like a strange, dry hail. Light, at first little pebbles of pumice, warm and feather-soft, so light they almost float. Children run out laughing to catch them. Then more come, and more. They gather on the doorsteps. They drum on the clay roof tiles like 1,000 impatient fingers. Within the hour, the street is ankle-deep in white stone, and the sky keeps emptying itself onto the city, faster now and harder. Now the fear arrives, and it spreads faster than the ash. People tie pillows to their heads with rope, anything to soften the falling stone. Families split apart in the crowd, screaming names. And here, in this moment, every person in Pompeii makes a single choice without knowing it is the most important of their life. Run for the harbor or hide in the house and wait it out. That choice to flee or to shelter will decide who lives and who does not, and most of them choose wrong. You think of your own. You grab what little you can, a few coins, a loaf still warm from the oven, your mother's thin hand. Outside, the air has turned thick. You cannot see the far end of your own street. Lamps are lit at midday because the sun has been swallowed whole. Above you, the roofs begin to groan under the growing weight of the stone. And then, somewhere very close, you hear the sound you will never forget, the first roof caving in and the screaming that follows. At the harbor, it is pure chaos. The sea itself has gone mad. It has pulled back from the shore, leaving boats tilted helpless in the mud. The water heaves too wildly to launch. Hundreds press against the docks, holding children over their heads, begging the gods, begging the captains, begging anyone. And out on that violent water against all sense, A Roman fleet is sailing toward the mountain. Its admiral has come to rescue the trapped. His name, too, is Pliny the Elder. He will not see another sunrise. The old admiral could have stayed safe. He is a scholar, a commander, a man with everything to lose. But a letter reaches him, a friend trapped beneath the mountain, and he gives the order without hesitation. Fortune favors the brave, he says, and turns his ships into the falling night. He will reach the shore. He will calm his terrified men with his own steadiness. And there, on a beach choked with fumes, his great heart will simply give out. He died trying to save strangers. Remember that. Back in the city, hours bleed past, though there is no sun to measure them. The pumice is at your knees now, then your thighs. Walking is like wading through deep gray snow that fights you with every step. Every breath you take tastes of ground stone. You press a wet cloth to your mouth and pull your family forward, one impossible step at a time. You tell yourself the same lie over and over. If we can just last until morning, we will be saved. But morning is not coming the way you pray for. Some people simply stop. They sit down in a doorway to rest just for a moment, just to gather their strength. That moment becomes forever. The ones who barricaded themselves inside are being sealed in doors blocked by stone, ceilings collapsing onto them in the dark. The ones still outside are drowning on dry land, their lungs filling with ash. And the cruelest truth of all is this: the falling stone, terrible as it is, has been mercy, because of what the mountain does next. High above the dying city, the great column can no longer hold its own impossible weight, and it collapses. Millions of tons of ash and burning gas, no longer pushed upward, come crashing back down to earth and begin to race down the mountainside. Not drifting, not falling, racing. A wall of heat and stone moving faster than a galloping horse, glowing from within, hugging the ground as it comes. The Romans have no name for this monster. We do. We call it a pyroclastic flow, and it is the deadliest thing the earth can make. It reaches the seaside town of Herculaneum first, closer to the mountain, richer, prouder than Pompeii. In a matter of moments, it is simply erased. The surge is hot enough to kill in a single instant, so fast that the people there feel almost nothing, their lives ending between one breath and the next. You across the bay do not see this happen. You only feel the wind change. A hot, foul breath rolling toward you over the water. And in your gut, without being told, you understand. It is coming for you too, and nothing on earth can stop it. So you run. You do not know where. There is nowhere left to run to. The darkness is total now, blacker than the deepest night, blacker than closed eyes. People hold torches at arm's length and cannot see the flame. You hear the voices of people you have known your whole life calling out in the black. You reach toward them with both hands, and your fingers close on nothing but falling ash. For so many of them, those cries in the dark are the very last sound they will ever make. All across the dying city in this final hour, people do the most human thing there is. A mother pulls her small child beneath her, curling her whole body into a living shield. A man draws his cloak across his face as if cloth could hold back the sky. Two lovers reach for each other's hands. A guard dog strains against a chain it cannot break. They are not statues, not yet. They are still people, terrified, hoping, still believing they might be spared. And the exact shape of this moment will outlast their empire by 2,000 years. And then it arrives. In the darkest hour before dawn, the surge reaches the walls of Pompeii. There is a roar that swallows every other sound, a single blast of impossible heat, and then silence. A silence so total, so complete, that it is almost gentle. The city does not burn to the ground like Troy. It is not smashed like a sandcastle. It is buried, sealed beneath meters of ash, every street and door and loaf of bread held exactly as it was. In the precise instant the world ended. When the sun finally rises, truly rises, there is no city. No streets, no forum, no temples, no bakery, no you. Only a smooth gray plain of ash, flat and silent, stretching out as if Pompeii had never existed at all. 20,000 lives. An entire living world of love and debt and gossip and dreams, gone in less than a single day. The handful who fled early enough to live will speak of it only in whispers, as if naming it might call it back. And then, year by year, the world begins to forget. For nearly 1,700 years, Pompeii sleeps beneath the soil. Farmers plant new vineyards in the rich volcanic earth, never once knowing what lies a few feet below their plows. The very name fades into legend, a lost city that people half believe was ever real at all. The ash that murdered Pompeii in a night has slowly become its tomb. But here is the strange and beautiful turn in this story. That same ash has also become its perfect, patient protector. Then in the 1700s, a digger's shovel strikes something that is not stone. A wall. A painted fresco, its colors still bright, its reds and golds as fresh as the day the artist set down his brush. They find a loaf of bread, whole and perfect, still sitting in the oven where a baker left it, a table laid for a meal that was never eaten. Pompeii has not crumbled and rotted away like every other ancient ruin. It has been waiting, frozen, untouched, holding its breath in the dark. And then they begin to find the people, not bones, spaces. Hollow pockets in the hardened ash where bodies once lay before they slowly turned to dust, leaving the shape of themselves pressed perfectly into the stone. A clever man named Fiorelli realizes what they are. He pours liquid plaster into the empty voids and waits. And when the ash is chipped away, the dead come back. The mother, the child, the man with his cloak, the dog still straining at its chain, their final second on earth made solid and handed to us. And this is why we remember you, Baker. We will never learn your name, it died with the city, but we have the shape of you, the way you reached out for someone in the dark, the way you tried, right to the very end, to protect the people you loved. Stand in front of these casts today, and the museum goes silent because everyone feels the same thing. Pompeii is not really a story about a mountain. It is a story about people caught forever in the act of being human. Today, you can walk those streets again. You can see the deep ruts worn into the stone by countless cartwheels. The marble counters where hot food and wine were once served to the crowd. Election slogans still painted on the walls. The bakery where the bread sat waiting in the oven on the morning the world ended. Pompeii is the most complete window we will ever have into the daily life of the ancient world, and we only have it because of the very disaster that destroyed it. And the mountain, Vesuvius, is still here, still alive, still breathing. It did not die when it killed Pompeii, it merely went back to sleep. Today, more than 3 million people live in its shadow, packed against its slopes, more than ever stood there in Roman times. It has erupted many times since that day, and every scientist alive agrees on one thing: it will erupt again. The only question that remains is a single, quiet word: when. So the next time you see that famous image, the bodies curled in the ash, the city frozen mid-breath, try to remember that they were not always ruins. They were us. They woke up to an ordinary morning, smelled the bread, argued about the price of fish, and never dreamed it was their last. Pompeii was never just the end of one Roman town. It was a warning written in ash 2,000 years ago and addressed very patiently to everyone who would ever come after.